भारतीय रिजर्व बैंक के गवर्नर शक्तिकांत दास ने आज अर्थव्यवस्था से जुड़े मुद्दे को लेकर एक प्रेस वार्ता को संबोधित किया। इस अवसर पर उन्होंने देश की इस साल की विकास दर 7.30 तक रहने के अपने पूर्व अनुमान को जारी रखा और साथ ही अर्थव्यवस्था से जुड़े अन्य तथ्यों पर भी चर्चा की। और क्या कहा आरबीआई गवर्नर ने इस मौके पर, आप खुद सुने।
I would like to just touch upon some of the main highlights of today's monetary policy. First, obvious, we have retained the growth projection for the current year at 7.2%. Second, on inflation, we have revised our projection and we are now projecting 6.7% for the full year 22-23. And within that, there are 3 or 4 points which need to be noticed. First, 75% of this increase in our inflation projection compared to what we had made in April, 75% is attributed to food inflation. This is something which I had said in my statement also. And by and large, if you look at it, excepting factors like the tomato prices slightly going up or some domestic electricity tariff being revised by the states, primarily the food inflation spike is linked to external factors, namely the war in Europe. So that is the first point under inflation. Second is what we have given out is the baseline scenario without factoring in the steps that we have taken today. Third, we believe that our actions will have their impact in bringing down inflation and inflation expectations. We remain committed to bring down inflation and inflation expectations. Fourth, our actions are, our rate action and other actions are calibrated to the evolving inflation growth dynamics. Inflation must come down. Economic recovery also must continue. So I talked about growth, then I talked about inflation. These are 2 points. The third point I would like to mention about the rate hike and the stance. Rate hike, obviously no brainer. It is 4%. It is 40 basis points and 50 basis points. And I don't know why I'm fixated on 40. We did that last time. So it is 50 basis points. Sorry about that. So now the repo rate stands at 4.9. We have said that clearly. As regards the stance, as has been, as you would have noticed, we have dropped the word, we remain accommodative. That is mainly to give greater clarity to the market. But we have said that we are now focusing on withdrawal of accommodation. Now what does that mean? It means that we are now completely focused on withdrawal of accommodation. But still, if you look at the rates, in terms of rates, we are still below, we are still below the pre-pandemic level. In terms of liquidity, the liquidity surplus in the market, surplus liquidity is higher than the pre-pandemic level. So that is what we mean. In that sense, the the stance still remains accommodative, but we are now completely focused on withdrawal of accommodation, and I think this gives greater clarity to the market and to all the stakeholders. And to all of you who are who would be analyzing and writing about it. The fourth point is with regard to liquidity. Liquidity, I think there was a lot of speculation around CRR. We have not increased the CRR. The liquidity withdrawal going forward will be calibrated and measured, and we will ensure that adequate liquidity is available to meet the productive requirements, to meet the credit requirements of the economy, that is the bank credit requirements. And fifth and final, as I have very clearly mentioned in my statement, we are not, that is the RBI is not bound by any stereotypes and conventions. The RBI will continue to be dynamic and pragmatic in our approach.
22 वर्षों से प्रकाशित मदर इंडिया पत्रिका पढ़ते रहें देश दुनिया की खबरों के लिए।
26वें वर्ष में आपके लोकप्रिय समाचार पत्र इंडिया दर्पण का प्रवेश। आप देखते रहें अपने क्षेत्र की खबरें। और अधिक खबरों के लिए आप हमारे YouTube चैनल दैनिक इंडिया दर्पण को अभी सब्सक्राइब करें और नोटिफिकेशन के लिए बेल आइकन को प्रेस करना ना भूलें।